under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you enjoy a nice blustery Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, first thing we have is the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda as written.
Second. It's been moved and second to approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, next we have is the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes. If there's no changes.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is we have appoint a temporary chairperson.
Appoint Gene Miners as the temporary chairperson. I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Gene Miners as the temporary chairperson. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, I want to thank you this last year. I mean, it's been, we've had a lot of different things happen, but I thank you for your support, and I'm just going to make it short and sweet that way. Thank you. So the next thing we have on the agenda is to appoint permanent chairperson. I'll make a motion that we appoint Marty Danzer.
I'll second that motion. Marty's been the vice chair, so I will second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary, motion carried. Okay, Marty?
Okay. Switch chairs, Gene. Again, I'd like to thank everybody and wish everybody a happy new year as we start out. I think we've got a lot of challenges coming at us this coming year. We've got the jail issue coming at us with the site assessment and the needs assessment on that. We've got the mental health issues facing us. But I'm confident we as a team, we can face all those issues and address those as we go. So with that, we'll keep going on, and thank you guys for your support. Okay, with that, we'll go down to item number 3, and that's to appoint the vice chair.
I make a motion to appoint Neil Bach as vice chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? Now we'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, with that, we'll go down to the 4th item, and that's Carroll Area Child Care Center fiscal year 19 funding. Nikki, welcome.
Morning, Nikki.
Morning, Nikki.
I'm not sure if I put the 2018 rates in our packet. I don't know if I had that done yet, but you can have these if you want them. Okay, so our 2017 year in review, we enrolled 43 new children to our center, which equals 120 families. It's okay. Just wait. I see that.
Keep these to us
Desk-
earlier than we.
Desk duties.
Got a lot of things filed.
I'm with you.
Okay.
We're back on track.
Okay, that's all right.
You're too behaved on it.
Thank you.
So of those, we added 43 new children, whether it be from new children that families have had that have been enrolled or from in the community. 120 families, which calculates into employees that work at over 70 Carroll County businesses. We have 210 children total, and 110 of those of the actual families of the 120 live in Carroll County. So we have about 10 families that commute from other counties. We've currently employed 45 staff. We always try to keep them a breakup of 30 full-time to 15 part-time. in 2017. We've kind of made it our goal the next couple years to make the job more appealing by trying to think outside the box with incentives for the staff. In the past, our full-time employees would come in starting at $7.75, which is not even something that anybody can really live on their own. We did bump it to $8 an hour, which I know is not a lot, but I know it's the board's goal to continue to keep doing what we can to increase that hourly wage. Our assistants come in and they'll start at $8 an hour, and our lead teachers now start at $10 an hour coming in. Base, that would be the low end. All of our staff, as far as federal and state requirements, nothing has really changed there. They're all federal and criminally background checked, trained in the first aid, CPR, inventory reporting, universal precautions, and then the 12 hours essentials training. It's in the first 90 days of employment. In 2017, we hired 30 employees, and of those 30, 18 left. So we pretty much turn over about half of our staff on a yearly basis. In 2017, we received the Community Foundation of Carroll County grant in the amount of $15,000. That was earmarked for educational materials for the classrooms, large motor materials for our motor skills room, just things that we had a running list on for a couple years, and we decided that it was time to make those replacements. We also saw the beginning stages, very beginning stages of our playground renovation. We have a couple issues that we're needing to address. Our main goal is drainage. We have a lot of standing water. Obviously the bank is new on the east or on the west side of us. And then with the curb projects and things like that, obviously we've been there for a long time. We need to get built back up again and try to get some of that drainage off the playground. Standing water is against licensing codes. Your playground has to be accessible to children all year round, and it really limits us when we get a lot of rain. We have to keep the kids off the playground, because they find the water no matter what. We need to get, we have to have 3 surfaces. Currently we have cement, supposed to have grass, but that is no longer there. And then a fall surface, which is underneath our climbers. Right now, we only have 2 because our grass is now dirt. So we have decided to work with a contractor in the Carroll area that's gonna help with turf for the minimal grass that we actually have. We have to redo the concrete riding paths. With the ground shifting, they fall below standards because there's cracks in the concrete now, which poses a trip hazard for the children. And then additional things, a utility shed, sandboxes, all of that. The playground renovation actually took place in, I believe it was 2000 to 2001. So it's going on, I mean, it's 18 years old and it sees a lot of foot traffic. So all of our main climbing materials, those are going to stay because those are fine, which helps alleviate a huge cost in replacing those. If we can get additional funding through grants, we will also add in play panels for the kids that are developmentally appropriate for each side, but also help them develop their large and small motor skills. Just give them a bigger selection of things to do out on the playground. We did apply this year for the Carroll Community Foundation grant for a portion of what the playground would cost. Our goal as a center is to hopefully use our annual fundraiser money to get a good chunk of that paid for. We obviously don't want to have to take out any loans, but if need be, the board has decided that it's a necessity and it obviously needs to be fixed. Looking ahead to 2018, I think our biggest goal as a center and the board of directors is just to continue to provide that continuity of care that the children need. Children spend on average 9, sometimes 10 hours a day in our facility, so really those familiar faces that those kids look for each morning are so important to us. Our staff are so important to us. So continue to think outside the box as far as wages for them, how we can give them what they deserve, yet make it still affordable for families. Look at maybe benefits, more other incentives. And then also, I think our other goal obviously is to get that playground renovation underway, get that fixed so we can continue to maintain a good standing with the licensing agency in Des Moines. And just something that the kids can use all year long. So.
You know, Nikki, you were talking about the turnover of the employees.
Mhm.
Is it a lot of that part-time employees that people come in from school and help, or are those?
No, our part-time employees are pretty steady, actually.
Okay.
Our high school staff, the only time we see them come and go because of extracurricular activities, but I usually don't include them in
Okay.
that number count.
Nikki, do you have a breakdown of the, I see you got capital improvements here, $15,000 for the budget. Do you have a breakdown of that? Right? I'm not sure if I was looking for it and I didn't think I saw it.
No, the capital improvements, what we budget in, that's what our goal is for the annual fundraiser. So we don't, to say that we have a breakdown of it, no,
Okay.
I don't have one.
Okay. I mean, you pretty much said what you wanted to do.
Right.
For capital
Yep,
improvements.
Yep, and that, usually we pick one thing and that entire amount goes toward that.
Right. Okay. So you're asking is, again, 11,000?
11, yep, yep, so it's last year.
Is it feasible to bring the level of playground up as opposed to keep the drainage off?
You mean as far as?
You're having trouble standing water and stuff like
Yes,
that?
yep. We do have to build everything up before we can actually put any of the turf down or any of that.
Good, okay.
Well, I know the turf thing came up last year,
Yep,
you know, so I know you've been
Yep.
wanting to do that for some time now.
Yeah.
It's an expensive venture.
yes it is.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, would it be feasible to work with secondary roads to get the filter for that? I mean, we've got access to it.
If that was something they might need, I don't know. I don't know if we can even get it delivered. I don't know. Is there a fence around that?
Yeah.
They'll have to open it up to get in there.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to take the fence down completely
for
anyway, for
construction,
any
yeah.
of the construction, so.
You have to take all the playground equipment and everything out.
Not the climbing
Okay.
playground equipment, so we have two big pieces, one on each side of, our fence there, and those get to stay, they're gonna work around that, so.
We should visit with Dave about it.
Yeah.
You know, see if he can make it work. I don't know.
Well,
If that
And
need
it
would
probably
would
won't-
arise, I don't know.
Probably won't even work as far as the skills, you know.
You can provide the dirt, that's for sure.
Yeah, and provide the
Yeah.
dirt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I have a little bit of issue with county roads helping private entities,
Yeah.
we do donate to them.
Yeah.
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 But I think we can provide the dirt at no cost.
Yeah.
Show them where you get.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not so sure, probably the city could do the same thing here too.
Yeah, very good.
Right,
Mhm.
you're right.
I would think the dirt's gonna be released to your
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The smallest part here. Okay.
Very good. Everybody helps.
Does.
So,
Any other questions for Nikki?
no.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for your
for-
time.
Thank you.
Thank you
Keep
for
up
all
the
you
good
do.
work.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You
Stay
too.
warm. That's funny.
Okay, with that, we'll go down to our next item on the agenda. And we'll start adopt the resolution for the 2018-1 construction evaluation, and that's in your packet.
This is the one we do for the master matrix for the project.
I'll make a motion that we approve the construction evaluation resolution
Okay.
for 2018.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. This is a resolution, so we'll do roll call.
Dancer,
Yes.
Ruggles,
Yes.
Shetler.
Yes.
Bach,
Yes.
Miners.
Yes.
Motion carries. This resolution just requires the chairman's signature. Just goes to the deed of warrants.
Put your pen out.
What are you laughing at?
Get your pen out.
You behave.
You need to stamp this too.
No.
I'll need to stamp it.
Pass it back. Okay, with that, we'll go down to the next resolution, is to adopt the resolution regarding special moving permits.
I'll move to adopt the resolution regarding special moving permits.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, you got a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? If not, we'll do roll call.
Dancer.
Yes.
Ruggles.
Yes.
Shetler.
Yes.
Bach.
Yes.
Miners.
Yes.
Motion carries. Another chairman only.
Got a sharp pen?
Hope I got enough ink. Okay, with that, we'll go down next to the adopt a resolution for regarding fixed charges.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution regarding fixed charges.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? Now we'll do the roll call.
Dancer.
Yes.
Ruggles.
Yes.
Shetler.
Yes.
Bach.
Yes.
Miners.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, everybody gets to sign this one.
Not getting singled out this time. Gene. Yep. Okay, that, we'll go down to item number 9, is to adopt the resolution, or no, adopt the resolution regarding the destruction of records.
I'll move to adopt the resolution regarding the destruction of records.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, do a roll call.
Dancer.
Yes.
Ruggles.
Yes.
Shetler.
Yes.
Bach.
Yes.
Miners.
Yes.
Motion carries. Sign that one too.
Everything stopped when you left?
Okay, with that, we'll go down to item number 9, is to adopt the resolution naming official county newspapers. We have 3 of them: the Carroll Daily Times Herald, the Coon Rapids Enterprise, and the Manning Monitor.
No
Also
changes.
moved.
Okay,
Second.
got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a roll call.
Dancer.
Yes.
Ruggles.
Yes.
Shetler.
Yes.
Bach.
Yes.
Miners.
Yes.
Motion carries. This one, everyone signs as well.
You're welcome.
We were gonna
Well, I
have
was gonna
some
ask you.
speech, but we'd have to equal time, wouldn't we?
Thank you.
Are we required to do 3? Being it's 3 in the county, or?
I think it has to do with their publication numbers, is that right? Does that sound right?
It's based on the size of the county,
Yeah, yeah.
so a smaller county would, in some counties where we have newspapers, there's 2.
Okay. There's your answer.
if there only would be one paper in the county, I guess, it would just be one.
Mhm.
Which I'm sure. What if, what you get down in the southern part of the state, when you probably don't have county, what happens then, what kind of publication do they have?
Probably good with the one with the biggest circulation in the county.
In the county,
Yeah.
whoever has the biggest circulation.
Doesn't
I
have to
mean,
be
I'm just- I'm
located in the
thinking,
county.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if all those communities have papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you should consider the Des Moines Register, huh?
Yeah.
I really pay through the nose.
I was gonna say, that costs a lot now.
That's probably more than.
I disregard the comment, go ahead.
Have you ever paid to put an obituary in one register?
Yeah, I don't know what it costs,
Yeah, it's terrible. Okay.
Okay, with that, we'll go down to item number 10, is to approve the 2018 holiday schedule. I'll just read those off. We've got New Year's Day, January 1st, President's Day, February 19th, Memorial Day, May 28th, Independence Day, July 4th, Labor Day, September 3rd, Veterans Day, November 11th, Thanksgiving Day is November 22nd and 23rd, and Christmas Day is December 25th. And those are the holidays.
I will make a motion to approve that holiday schedule, even though one is gone already.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You put a stamp on that, please.
Make sure this one's debate and change the year, I bet. December. Is there 2018 even on this?
It should be, it's a pretty new stamp.
2019. There it is. Make sure I got it right. Yeah, it is. There we go.
There we go.
That's a way to get you to buy one every other year. 2 years.
Okay, with that, we'll go down into the 11th item on the agenda is to appoint county board of health members, and there's 3 of them.
I have not contacted them yet.
Okay.
Or they haven't contacted me back, let's put it that way, so.
Okay.
We can go ahead and approve them. Do you want to approve them, or what if they,
That's what I would do.
yeah.
Appoint
If
them
they,
Just go
if
ahead.
they, if they resign, then that's.
We just start over that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would make a motion to approve Art Behrens, Anissa Erlmeyer as representatives of the Board of Health.
Okay. Got a motion on the floor. Need a second?
Should we include Dean Shetler on that list?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I think so, you could do it on this, where you do the committee assignments, but you can do it here.
Okay, then I'll include myself.
Okay.
I'll second that then.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That is, 12th item is to appoint county conservation board member.
And I did contact Tracy, and he said he would do it again for another term. So I will make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, then item number 13 on the agenda is to appoint county compensation board member.
And I did contact Maxine, and she finally got back to me yesterday and called me back, and she has declined to be reappointed, so I did call 2 other names that I could think of last night, so I would suggest that we've got they're not meeting till next Tuesday.
The ninth.
Ninth, yeah.
So we've got another week, so let's, between the five of us, we'll try to come up with someone.
So possibly.
So we'll just leave it open for now.
We'll table it until next week
Yeah.
then.
That's fine.
There you go.
Okay, we'll table that one. Okay, with that, we'll go down to item 14, is to appoint weed commissioner, and our current one is Tom Vogel.
I'll appoint Tony Vogel.
Second that.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 I'll abstain.
Okay. So motion carries. Okay. Item number.
Second one.
Go ahead.
That's not your appointment, that's the treasurer's
Oh, that's the
appointment, so
treasurer's
she'll have to
one.
do that at the meeting.
Okay, gotcha, I see.
Okay, with that, we'll go down to appoint county zoning commissioners, and there's 5 of them there.
I will make a motion that we appoint Minnie Prudence, Keith Butoff, Katie O's, Stan Jansen, and Cameron Jansen to the Carroll County Planning and Zoning Commissioners.
Okay. Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, the next one we'll go down is number 16, is to appoint County Board of Adjustment 5-year member, and that is currently Gary Earlbeck from Delton.
And I will make a motion that we approve reappoint Gary Robeck as the County Board of Adjustment.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, with that, we'll go down to item number 17, is to appoint the City of Glidden 2-mile limit planning and zoning member, and that is Jody Rohrbeck. I did talk with him last week, and he is willing to serve as in that position again. So I would make a motion there to approve Jody.
Second that.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we'll go down to item number 18, is to appoint City of Glidden 2-mile limit Board of Adjustment member. And I did talk to John Peterson last week also, and he is willing to accept that position. So I would make a motion again to appoint John Peterson as that person.
I'll second that
Second
motion.
that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, with that, we'll go down to item number 19, is to appoint to the County Solid Waste Commission. And currently, I serve as the representative for the board here, and Gene is the alternate. So we need a motion to that effect.
I'll move to reappoint Marty with Gina as the alternate.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, with that, we'll go down to the number 20, is to appoint Region 12 Council of Governments Executive Board. And I currently serve on that board also.
I'll make a motion that Marty is reappointed to the Executive Board of Region 12.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. With that, we'll go down to number 21, is to appoint 2 members to the Region 12 Council of Governments Policy Council. And Neil Bach and Rich Ruggles are currently on that appointment.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Neil Bach and Richard Ruggles to the Region 12 Council of Governments Policy Council.
Okay. Got a motion, need a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second for the Policy Council. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. With that, we'll go down to item number 22, is the appointment of the Carroll City County Communications Commission. And there are 3 people currently on that board. And it's Gene, myself, and Sheriff Pingree.
And we can change that to have his name. I think we put sheriff or sheriff
Designee.
designee on there. Because, well, actually, I think he wanted designee on there in case he wouldn't be able to attend a meeting and maybe like the comm center supervisor
Mhm.
could do it too. So maybe we
That leaves it more open.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and in particular last year's when Doug had it, he was having, Pingree starting to take over that too, so.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to that effect, to appoint Gene Miners, the sheriff and sheriff designee, and Marty Dancer to the Carroll City County Communications Commission.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any other comments? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. With that, we'll go down to item number 23 is the appointment to the Western Iowa Tourism Board, and that is currently Jason Christensen.
I'll move to reappoint Jason.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. With that, we'll go down to item number 24, is to appoint county condemnation compensation commissioners, and that's in accordance with the Iowa Code, Chapter 6B4. And on that board, we have,
Right here. Page 10.
page 10. Okay, currently we have Marilyn Johnson, Linda Helber, Virginia Schultes, Dale Burns, Adam Honlows, Marvin Frischmeyer, and Lyle Schleichman are the people that are on that board.
Sort of farm owners.
The farm owners, and then there's the city and county, or city and town property owners are Carol Ike, Edgar Hunt, Bob Sporer, Cindy Golay, Ruth Barrett, Jackie Mashin, and Todd Statlander. The licensed real estate salesmen are Mike Franey, Donna Pudens, Gene Whitrock, Lucille Lighting, Brandon Snyder, Don Canny, and John Highland. And then the knowledge of property values by reason of occupation, we've got Gary Rupiper, auctioneer, Mary Swanson, Nick Beatty, Julie Mayhall, Bob Potabom, Burnell Whitrock, and Larry Sporer.
I'll make a motion that those people be reappointed.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, with that, we'll go down.
Mr. Chair, there's one thing I think we did not put on here is the Roselle Township. That needs to be
It's still
reappointed.
vacant.
I've got someone that
Oh,
will.
well, I didn't know that.
I-
That's
well,
why it's not on there.
That was again this weekend, so.
Okay.
Do we want to add that to the agenda?
Can we do it next week?
We
I
could.
don't know that it's, yeah, we could do it next week.
Should we just do it next
Next
week?
week.
It's up to you guys, whether you want to add it to or do it next week. It's up to you.
Let's add it next week.
Okay. Okay, with that, we'll go down to number 25, is to make committee assignments. And Courtney did hand out that list. Well, we got it here in our packet too, I guess. We'll just go down through what boards people serve on, and then we can kind of go from there. Rich Ruggles, he's on the Region 12 Council of Governments Policy Council, Ambulance Board, Carroll Area Child Care Center Board, alternate to the Rolling Hills Community Service Region, alternate to the 2nd Judicial District, and then also the East and West Nishnabotna Watershed Coalition as an alternate. Eugene Miners, he's on the voting member of the Cherokee Detention Center, New Opportunities, Carroll County City Com Center, alternate to the Landfill and Solid Waste, CADC Board, Mount Carmel and Maple River Sewer Systems. Neil Bach is on the Rolling Hills Community Service Region, 2nd Judicial District, Region 12 Council of Governments DCAT Committee, Region 12 Council of Governments Policy Council, RSVP Foster Grandparent Board, Safety Committee, and the Middle South Raccoon River Watershed Management Authority. Dean Shetler is currently on the E91 Board Representative, non-voting member, Carroll County Emergency Management Commission, Board of Health, Region 12 Hazmat Foundation, alternate to the Cherokee Detention Center, Conservation Board, Mount Carmel Maple River Sewer Systems, North Raccoon River Watershed Management Coalition Governance Board, East and West Nishnabotna Watershed Coalition, And then myself, Marty Danzer, I'm on the Wesco Board, Carroll County City Center, Region 12 Executive Board, Hungry Canyons, Carroll County Landfill and Solid Waste Commission, and the Les Hills Board and Development Conservation Authority. Is there anybody wish to make any changes there, or do we want to keep the current slate?
I'm satisfied.
I'm okay with mine. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
have any problem.
I have no problem with what I've got.
Good with my boards.
Yep. I'll make a motion to accept those appointments.
Okay?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye.
think it's a committee chairman appointment rather than a vote situation.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but we approve his,
To keep the current slate?
his appointments.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know it's kind of been that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I agree
Chairman
with you.
just appoints them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it's been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marty.
Made it easy. Okay, Dave, is he here yet?
What about the, do we need to cover that union deal?
Oh,
Not sure.
okay, for the
Amendment.
negotiations team?
Yeah.
One, didn't the conservation decertify?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Gene and I would be off of that one.
Well, we're on all of them anyway. Keep the thing continuity as the
Yeah.
way we've been doing it.
They'll have an option to recertify at some point, but at this time they are decertified.
Yeah, and I could just say that the negotiations team for all the unions wouldn't have to list each one separate.
Okay. Do we need to vote on that, or do we just have a consensus there?
But again, I think that's the
I think
chairman's
it's an appointment in there too, probably, isn't it?
Yep.
So
Marty gets the last word on that, so.
Yep.
So what are you guys' thoughts towards that? Do you and Gene want to stay on, or do you want to switch positions, or how do you want to handle that?
Been easy the last year.
Yeah, it's the easiest one I've had for a while.
It's okay.
But I think consistency is probably the best.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think so too, Dean?
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. So we need a motion to appoint Neil and.
Well,
No, you're gonna appoint.
We'll appoint Eugene Miners and Neil Bach to the negotiations team for unions.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Okay, with that, Dave's not here yet, so we'll go down to item number 27, is to approve plats. Let's see, pass it over, Sue. Actually, this is in section 2. What township is that in? I didn't even look at this one.
Ewald.
Ewald.
I think it's another location for a hub facility, is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah.
Is the acreage okay though at 2 acres?
Well, being that's why they build new
If
hub
it's
buildings.
agricultural.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the plat. That wasn't the question that I had.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the plat in Ewald section 2. Any other discussion? Now, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, next item we have is a county recorder retirement. Do we want to get a hold of Mary?
Yeah, I'll go down with her. She said she'd be able to come in with her.
Okay.
Morning, Marilyn. Welcome.
Good morning, Marilyn.
Morning, Marilyn.
We have ahead of us the letter for the retirement for our county recorder. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Marilyn.
Okay. I'll take a breath. After talking with my family, and decided it was time for me to retire, and health is not a factor in making the decision. I enjoyed being the Carroll County recorder. This was not easy for me to make. I have been contemplating this for a while. I am really gonna miss working with my staff and all the coworkers and the citizens for the last 23 years. I am recommending the appointment of Deputy Kathy Swaller for my unexpired term. She's very capable and knows the duties of the county recorder's position. And she will do a great job for the citizens, as she has done the past 10 years. It's been a privilege to serve as the county recorder for the past 23 years, and I'm truly going to miss being here and everyone, and I appreciate the support that I've received from everyone over the past years, and it's really been a privilege serving the citizens and working with everyone here and everyone in this county. It's just, that's about all I have to say. That's all I can say right now.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Marilyn for 23 years of service, and I wish her the best as she does retire. She's done a good job. The office has done a good job. We've got a lot to be thankful for with the recorder's office and the work that they do for the county. So with that, I'll turn it over to anybody else for any comments.
Yeah,
Chantel?
thanks a lot, Marilyn,
Go ahead.
for all you've done for the county, and good luck in your retirement.
Yep, can't do nothing but wish you great endeavors wherever you're headed.
Well, as cold as it
Thank
is,
you.
not too far right now.
Real far south.
Yeah, they'd probably go to Mexico or something.
Even south is kind of cold, I think, right now.
Well, I want to thank Marilyn too for her year's service. I know she's been pretty dedicated on her job and stuff, and, you know, wish you the best in the future, and hope you enjoy retirement. So it's a day that we all hope that we see someday, I guess, but.
Making that decision was
Mhm.
not easy.
Well, I want to thank you for your service and wish you the best of luck with retirement. As spoken to you personally, I wish you'd finish your term, but that's fine.
Thank you.
Chantel?
Marilyn, what is the effective date?
January 31st.
Okay, Virginia, any comments?
Do we need a recorder? Now is the opportunity to look into combining that office with another one?
I guess that's something we'll have to look into, but currently where we're at, we don't have a lot of time to do that search.
Well, got a month?
Yeah.
If you check with the counties that have, especially Marshall County, and if you would like to discuss that with them, they'd be glad to come in and tell you, talk to you, and the person that's there and the person that was there that is now the recorder in Grundy County, there was no cost savings. And matter of fact, it took as much, and the training and the replacement and the increases in salaries of the other department heads. So that person would be glad to come and discuss any of those issues with any one of you.
I guess my thoughts are there of putting it in the treasurer's office at this point. She's got enough on her plate with the licensing issue. I don't think we need to add more to it at this point. Kenny?
Well, I just want to congratulate you on your retirement. Every time I've been over to your office, it's usually hunting and fishing licenses. You guys have gone out of your way. Sometimes that takes a little explaining, but I would support a special election with the fact that there is another candidate that's very interested in the position, and I'm just speaking for myself as a public. I understand Ashton is.
gotten a letter there, and that's something we're gonna have to address. And I don't know if we wanna do that today, or if we wanna put that on the agenda for next week.
Well, I personally don't think we need to do it today. We can accept Marilyn's letter. And what we've done in the past, and I'm just gonna speak some of my personal thoughts here right now. In the past, we've, in Courtney's situation, and I don't know, in Jean's, we went around each individual, had a little conversation with them before we made that appointment. I would suggest that we do that here also. Now, through the mix, we've got another person that showed some interest in it, but, you know, right now, how soon could you have a special election? It'd be not till spring, probably?
You can have them pretty quickly.
Can you?
Yeah.
Well, and I guess I'm looking at, we in the past have always went by the recommendation if we could. I think for what the cost of the election is, I really have to think about that. For the short period of time
I
we've
wanna
got.
say I have to have 45 days notice.
Yeah, so you're
that
looking.
puts it middle of February at the earliest.
And then they're gonna turn around and run again in the primary.
When is filing date for the primary? March.
I don't
March.
have the dates in front of me, but I believe it's in March, like towards the end of March.
So we're about 70 days from that right now.
Yeah, so I mean.
And if you have election in the middle of February, then
Exactly. You're right,
And
we're close
what
to the
would
filing
that
date.
you're right
special-
close to the filing date.
What would that special election cost, Courtney, in your
It'd be
estimation?
Just like a general election, you'd have every precinct open in the county. $6,000-7,000 roughly. That's probably low. 'Cause every time I program machines, it costs more money, but,
Yeah.
So I guess my suggestion today is we accept her letter of resignation.
And then
And
go
we,
from
I would suggest that we each have a conversation with,
there.
particularly with Kathy.
Well, you should have a conversation with the other likely candidate as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's one reason I encouraged Marilyn to continue the term she was elected to, was to avoid the cost of potential election, which could happen either as a decision by this board or as a petition by the party.
yeah, and I did do some checking just because I was curious, but if somebody would want to petition for a special election, they would need about 1,055 signatures to do so, because it's based on the last general, which was the presidential, and we had over 10,000 votes for president, so that's what you're, the 10% of that.
Well, I would have liked to have seen you complete your term as well. It just makes things much easier and less complicated, and under the circumstances as they are, I like to see continuity in an office, and I think we need to talk to Kathy, but I think we need to also talk to the other candidates out there. You know, I think ISAC had a questionnaire, I believe, go out last year of doing away with the elections of the auditor, and so I mean there is some discussion about the removal of the recorder, or as far as an election, make them appointed positions. So it's I guess I like the appointment process simply because it's so close to the election that I would rather save the money. I guess that's the way I look at it.
Well, and that's what, I agree. I mean, I think the cost of what we're gonna spend on that election for the time frame
Right.
is a little expensive.
You know, as it is right now, every, the recorder, the treasurer, the auditor, all have to be elected, you know, and so anybody's.
If it'd be more at the
any-
beginning of the term, I would have a different thought.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion?
One thing I would say, as long as you're gonna visit with the candidates. I agree, it would have been nice to see the term finish up, but,
It don't always happen that way.
it doesn't always happen. That's
No.
exactly right. But as long as you visit with all the likely candidates, I think that's somewhat fair.
I have no problem with that.
That's why the system's made the way it is, it's checks and balances.
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I will make a motion that we accept Marilyn's letter of resignations with regrets, and also to wish her the best in the future.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Now we'll call for the vote to accept the letter of resignation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
With regrets. Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Could you stand that too, please?
Okay.
Thanks, Kenny.
Okay, is Dave out there yet or not?
Really think that this close to filing date's gonna make this really a tougher decision right now, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Dave.
What time is it? Is it 10?
The damn
5
cost
minutes
too.
to.
The cost
I
of
think
it.
I told him pretty close to 10.
Okay.
It's a little off, but-
That's fine.
I don't know what the rest of you guys thought there, but I'm willing to ride this out till November. I kinda just have that feeling that, to myself, it's probably the proper thing to do.
Well, you know, I mean, I had this discussion at home, and I don't like either one of them. I don't like either option. I don't care for the election, and I don't care for the appointment. Can we write it out? So then I did look at the Iowa code, and it
So
has
it
to
says
be.
we can't, we
not
have
an
to
option.
appoint?
We have to appoint, or it has to be a special election. That
Really?
position has to be filled.
You
Yes, it
cannot-
does.
Yeah, you can't leave it vacant.
No.
What if this would happen after, let's see, if it was down to like 1 month to the end of that term, you still would have to do that?
Well, you're talking, there's days that you have to do it.
Because, well, you and I had. a
What
little
about
talk.
illness?
Huh?
What about an illness?
Well, the office would be vacant at that point.
I mean, if somebody was sick and couldn't come to work, they would just not be able to come to work. Yeah, since you're an elected official, you can do that. Because in Clayton County,
Yeah,
the auditor never came to work, never showed up.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
That went on about-
for almost over a
Used
year.
That was about a year.
He was taking care of his sick wife, but yet he went to his second job.
Mhm.
He just, yeah, and so there was, the supervisor at that time tried to remove him, but they couldn't do
They
it.
couldn't do it.
So,
They didn't even get their budget certified
no.
because he didn't show up. And he's the
So-
one that was supposed to sign it.
So, yeah, that's,
There was a mess up there, and they
Yeah.
tried to change some stuff, and the legislature never got it done.
well, when they went to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General couldn't do anything. So, yeah, if somebody's
Wow.
sick,
Well, because you
They
have a
just-
deputy. I mean,
you'd have a deputy.
You always
and-
have a deputy.
Yeah.
And
So,
This
no,
is-
I looked into that. We would have to do this.
This says if a
Unfortunately.
vacancy will be filled by appointment, the appointment must be made within 40 days after the vacancy occurs.
See, we've got to the end of the month for the vacancy.
Oh, actually, we have till the
Yeah.
end of February.
Yeah.
So you
Vacancy-
you actually have until
Yeah.
the middle of March.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, mid-March to
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
make
to
it.
fill in something.
It's still right back at filing.
Yeah.
And there's no penalty set forth in the Iowa code if you
I
don't
think
make the
you
appointment
appoint
before the
somebody,
deadline.
that short timing will give them enough
To
time
get
to
their
give
hands
them
slapped, huh?
that extra bonus in the election. I don't think.
The only advantage that they
So
have
what-
is
yeah,
when it's
what-
listed on the ballot sheet, there's an I for incumbent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's.
But
the-
that, this short
the
period, I don't
advantage.
think it's gonna be that big of an advantage,
Mhm.
because how do I wanna say this, I'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
They are, not as, out front people that are that well-known, I think, either one of them.
Right.
So that's not gonna be a
They're
big
both gonna
advantage.
have to establish
They're from,
themselves
they're, yeah,
Share
out
the
there.
base.
Yeah, they're not,
Yeah.
you know, someone that's been out in front of the public a long time. Nothing against them, I mean, but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
just, they're more, they've been,
Neil, what are you thinking? It's a tough one, isn't it?
I think that rather than us as Maryland have to bear the burden of causing the election, if it comes to that, because she's the one that resigned earlier. We, of course, have the ultimate decision whether to make an appointment or have an election, but I think she has caused the situation by resigning early.
Yeah.
She created the situation.
Yeah. And we have the ultimate decision, that's
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And that's, but this isn't the first time this has happened.
No, and I did talk to Doug Bass, in all fairness, encouraged him to finish his term if he didn't have any medical issues. So I'm not picking on Maryland by any means. And I explain that to Maryland.
Mhm.
Okay.
We take a little short recess, I'm gonna have a glass of water.
We can do that.
Well, I think we did the right thing.
Did you catch that back to run recess?
We're in recess. You wanna shut it off for a moment, Amy?
Amy?
You wanna shut it off, or just in a short recess?